Millions of people watched a man scream about undercooked steak like it was life or death. He insulted chefs, shut down restaurants, terrified contestants, and somehow turned pure chaos into one of the most successful entertainment brands on the internet. On paper, none of it should have worked. A furious chef yelling in kitchens doesn't sound like the formula for global fame. And yet somehow, Gordon Ramsay became far bigger than television itself. His clips spread everywhere, his reactions became memes, his insults turned into internet culture, and entire generations who have never even watched his shows still recognize his face instantly. But the strange part is that people didn't just watch Gordon Ramsay because he was angry. The internet is full of angry people. Most become exhausting after 5 minutes. Ramsay became addictive. Viewers kept coming back, not because they cared about cooking, but because he understood something most entertainers never fully figure out. Emotion keeps attention better than information ever will, and Gordon Ramsay mastered emotion almost perfectly. Because behind the screaming, the insults, and the chaos was something much bigger happening. He wasn't just becoming a celebrity chef anymore, he was becoming the perfect entertainer for the modern internet. Before the memes, the TikTok edits, and the viral reaction clips, Gordon Ramsay was already deeply respected in the culinary world. Long before internet culture transformed him into an online personality, he had built a reputation through fine dining, professional kitchens, and extremely high standards. He trained under legendary chefs, earned Michelin stars, and became known for discipline, perfectionism, and intensity inside restaurants where pressure was already extreme. In professional kitchens, mistakes cost money, reputation, and sometimes entire businesses. Ramsay came from an environment where precision mattered constantly, and that pressure shaped the personality audiences would later see on television. But television changed everything. When Ramsay first appeared in mainstream reality television, audiences weren't used to seeing chefs behave like that publicly. Cooking shows at the time felt polished and controlled. Hosts smiled calmly while explaining recipes in perfectly lit kitchens. Food television was comforting. Ramsay shattered that image immediately. Suddenly, kitchens looked stressful, loud, aggressive, and emotionally explosive. Contestants weren't simply learning recipes anymore. They were surviving pressure, and viewers became fascinated by that transformation because it revealed something hidden behind restaurants people had never really seen before. Shows like Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares didn't just show cooking, they showed emotional conflict. Contestants panicked, restaurant owners argued, kitchens collapsed under pressure. Ramsay screamed at people over mistakes most viewers barely understood. But strangely, audiences didn't need to understand cooking to stay entertained. The emotional energy itself became the attraction. And that's where Gordon Ramsay accidentally became perfect for internet culture, years before social media fully exploded. Because internet content survives through emotional intensity. Calm moments rarely spread online. Extreme reactions do. Outrage spreads. Shock spreads. Humor spreads. Emotional unpredictability spreads. Ramsay's television personality naturally generated all of those things constantly. 1 second he might calmly inspect a restaurant kitchen, and the next he'd explode after finding rotten food in a refrigerator. That unpredictability kept viewers emotionally alert because they never knew when chaos was coming. Psychologically, humans are wired to pay attention to emotional volatility. Sudden emotional reactions trigger focus because our brains instinctively monitor conflict, danger, and unpredictability. Ramsay's shows turned that instinct into entertainment. Watching him wasn't relaxing, it was stimulating. And stimulation keeps audiences engaged far longer than information alone. But if Gordon Ramsay had only screamed constantly, he probably would have faded away, like many other reality TV personalities built entirely around shock value. The reason he lasted is because there was always another side to him underneath the chaos, and audiences recognized that surprisingly quickly. One of the most important things Ramsay understood, either intentionally or instinctively, was emotional contrast. He wasn't aggressive all the time. In fact, some of his most beloved moments happened when he completely dropped the harsh persona. When interacting with children on MasterChef Junior, he suddenly became supportive, patient, encouraging, even protective. The same man known for terrifying adult chefs would calmly comfort nervous kids who made mistakes. And that contrast completely changed how audiences viewed him, because now the anger felt contextual instead of random. He wasn't screaming because he enjoyed cruelty. He screamed when standards collapsed, when people acted lazy, when businesses failed because of incompetence. But when someone genuinely tried their best, especially inexperienced cooks or children, his personality softened immediately. That emotional complexity made him feel human instead of cartoonish. Audiences could sense that underneath the insults was real passion for excellence, and passion is far more compelling than simple aggression. This balance became incredibly important online because internet culture loves personalities that feel emotionally authentic. And authenticity online often doesn't mean calmness or perfection. In many cases, emotionally messy people feel more authentic than polished celebrities carefully controlling their image. Ramsay's emotional reactions felt real because they weren't hidden. He looked genuinely frustrated, genuinely shocked, genuinely disappointed, genuinely impressed. Even viewers who disliked his intensity still believed the emotions themselves were authentic. And authenticity is incredibly valuable in the modern attention economy because audiences are surrounded constantly by performances. Politicians sound scripted, influencers curate fake lifestyles, corporations carefully manage public image. Most celebrities speak cautiously to avoid controversy. Gordon Ramsay felt different because he seemed emotionally uncontrolled. Whether intentional or not, that made him feel more real than many polished public figures. Once YouTube, meme culture, and short-form clips became dominant online, Ramsay's content exploded into an entirely new level of popularity. Suddenly, his television moments were no longer trapped inside full episodes. Individual reactions became content themselves. Screaming compilations, insult montages, reaction edits, meme remixes. His personality fragmented perfectly into internet-friendly clips. And because his reactions were so expressive, they worked even without context. And that's what made him incredibly memeable. Modern internet culture depends heavily on instantly recognizable emotional reactions. People share clips and images as emotional language. Ramsay pointing at burnt food while screaming became useful far beyond cooking itself. His reactions could represent frustration, disappointment, anger, or chaos in almost any situation. He transformed into a reaction format. And once a personality becomes part of internet language itself, their reach expands massively beyond their original audience. Even younger audiences who never watched his television shows still encountered him constantly through TikTok edits, YouTube shorts, reaction memes, and viral clips. That gave Ramsay something most older television personalities never achieved successfully: generational crossover relevance. Adults watched him through reality TV. Teenagers discovered him through internet culture. And because clips spread algorithmically, his content constantly regenerated attention automatically. The structure of his insults also mattered more than people realize. Ramsay's insults became famous not simply because they were mean, but because they were creative, exaggerated, and strangely funny. Calling someone an idiot sandwich sounds absurd enough to become comedy instead of pure cruelty. His insults often felt theatrical rather than hateful. There was exaggeration built into the delivery itself, almost like verbal performance art designed for entertainment value. And humor changes how audiences process aggression psychologically. Funny insults feel less threatening because laughter reduces tension. Ramsay mastered that balance almost perfectly. Viewers could enjoy the emotional chaos without experiencing it as genuinely disturbing most of the time. The absurdity softened the hostility just enough to make it entertaining instead of uncomfortable. At the same time, reality television itself was evolving into something much more emotionally aggressive during Ramsay's rise. Earlier reality TV focused heavily on documenting environments. Later reality TV became increasingly centered around conflict, breakdowns, pressure, and emotional extremes, because producers realized those moments generated stronger audience engagement. Ramsay became the perfect centerpiece for that evolution, because his personality naturally intensified every environment around him. In Kitchen Nightmares especially, the structure was almost engineered around emotional collapse and recovery. Ramsay entered failing restaurants where owners were already stressed. Finances were collapsing, kitchens were dysfunctional, and emotions were fragile. Then, confrontation escalated the situation further. But importantly, the shows usually ended with improvement, emotional breakthroughs, or redemption. That emotional payoff mattered. Audiences weren't just watching destruction, they were watching transformation. And transformation is one of the most satisfying narrative structures in entertainment, because it creates emotional resolution. Ramsay's intensity worked because it was attached to improvement rather than pure humiliation. There's also a deeper psychological reason people enjoyed watching him. Controlled conflict is entertaining because it allows audiences to experience stress safely. Watching people argue, panic, fail, and recover creates emotional stimulation without actual personal risk. Ramsay's shows functioned almost like emotional roller coasters. Tension builds, conflict erupts, resolution arrives. That cycle becomes addictive because audiences experience emotional release repeatedly, and Ramsay himself became the anchor controlling the chaos. Even when everything around him collapsed emotionally, viewers trusted that he understood what was happening. Competence matters enormously in entertainment. Audiences tolerate extreme personalities far more when they believe the person is genuinely skilled. Ramsay wasn't just loud, he was highly respected professionally. That credibility protected him from feeling like empty reality TV drama. Meanwhile, many other television personalities struggled adapting to internet culture as media changed. Traditional celebrity systems weakened while algorithms began rewarding constant engagement, emotional intensity, and shareable moments instead. Ramsay adapted incredibly well because his personality already fit the internet naturally. Rather than resisting memes, he embraced them. Rather than protecting a polished image, he leaned into internet humor. He reacted to TikTok cooking videos. He made self-aware content. He participated in meme culture instead of fighting it. That flexibility allowed him to survive multiple generations of media transformation while many older television stars became irrelevant. Ramsay understood attention better than most traditional celebrities because he realized entertainment no longer lived only on television. It lived inside clips, reactions, algorithms, and social media ecosystems. Over time, his personality itself became bigger than cooking entirely. Gordon Ramsay evolved into a global entertainment brand. Restaurants, television, YouTube channels, TikTok accounts, merchandise, interviews, cooking products. His empire expanded far beyond food because people weren't just consuming recipes anymore, they were consuming personality. And that shift says something important about modern entertainment itself, because in today's media environment, expertise alone is rarely enough. The internet rewards emotional engagement more than technical skill. Thousands of talented chefs exist, but very few become global internet icons. Ramsay succeeded because he combined genuine competence with emotional spectacle. He wasn't simply teaching audiences, he was entertaining them constantly while teaching. That combination made Gordon Ramsay perfect for the internet. His content blends emotion, conflict, humor, and personality, the exact things algorithms reward. More importantly, he understood that people don't just watch for information anymore. They watch for entertainment, tension, unpredictability, and authenticity. Ramsay delivered all of it at once. Over time, he stopped being just a chef and became a character. The angry mentor, the perfectionist, the brutally honest judge. And characters last longer online than ordinary celebrities. Ramsay represents modern entertainment itself. Expertise builds credibility, but personality captures attention. He mastered both. That's why he outlasted countless reality TV stars. Television made him famous, but the internet made him timeless. He didn't just become a celebrity chef, he became one of the internet's perfect entertainers.